Jones, and I'm the museum curator, and I serve as the county historian. And I want to thank the students especially. If you're a student that submitted an essay, would you mind very much standing up so we can give you an applause? Because thank you. And obviously behind great students are great parents, so thank you as well. You know, here at the museum, yes. So, you know, here at the museum, we have many folks who are very generous with their time and talents as far as volunteers, but we get really interesting artifacts. And we have a genealogical library upstairs. And if you haven't spent time up there, I would encourage you to do so. So what I tell folks when they come to the museum is, this is your museum. We want to tell your story. So if your story isn't here, please bring it to us. We'd like to know something about you, your spouse, your kids, your grandparents, where they came from, anything you'd like to share. We have all sorts of family folders upstairs, and if you give us enough stuff, you graduate to a binder. And you'll be surprised how many family binders we have upstairs, what people have been very kind and generous to share. And I think that when young people came and looked for some of their family members, they were very surprised at what they found. So we appreciate the hard work of the Lawrence County Museum board members, because in addition to the staff, the board is what keeps the doors open, keeps the light on in their work, because they guide the work. And Jeff Routh is here, and myself, we're employees here. Joy Shepard couldn't join us tonight, and my husband John, he comes a few days a week, just keep me in line. So thank you again for coming this evening. I'm going to introduce Rowena. She's going to say a few things about Phil Mitchell, and I do want to welcome Phil's family as well. So without further ado, this is the president of the Lawrence County Historical and Genealogical Society, Rowena Brother-Johnson.
Welcome everybody. We love this essay contest, and we really love to see how students interact with the artifacts and things in our collection. You know, artifacts, it's just stuff until you look at it and you learn from it and you think about it. And all of the students who are here tonight did exactly that. They looked at it, they learned from it, they thought about it, and then they wrote about it. And it was just a really fun experience. We had a judging team of 3. I guess, Marta, you didn't count, right?
No.
Cassie here, and Lori Roberts, who's not here tonight. But you probably, if you didn't know Phil, then you don't know why we call this the Phil Mitchell Essay Contest. Phil was already on the LCHGS board when I arrived to the board in 2009, which sounds like ancient history, I realize that. But he had already been here, I don't know when he started as a board member, you know.
Long time ago.
He had been supporting our museum with his expertise and his efforts. He took a particular interest in the library. He helped us get a lot of things together to make this museum what it is now. I would also like to introduce the Mitchell family, who are up here on the front row. Thank you all for leaving that row for them. Welcome, and it's always a pleasure to have you and to see you. Phil was a remarkable person. And just a couple of things about him, besides all the service he gave to our museum. He spent 45 years at the General Motors plant. And my understanding is he was quite meticulous in the work that he did. He also was a member of the First Baptist Church, and I seem to remember did a lot of volunteer work there. And he was a member, was he a Lions member, is that correct? Yes, that's what I thought. So this was a person who left his community better than he found it. He's a wonderful role model for all of us. And I personally feel like he was taken, I'm sure you agree, taken from us much too soon. So in the spirit of Phil Mitchell, I welcome you all here, and I look forward to hearing all of you read your essays. I read them once, but it's always different when you guys read your own work. So welcome. And congratulations.
like to introduce to you people that have done and written these excellent, outstanding essays that they wrote. I was very impressed, and that says a lot, because I'm not that easy to impress when it comes to writing articles of opinion, as you would know if you ever had me as a teacher. But nonetheless, I really was very impressed with everything that I read. I mean, it was just good. It was very hard. It was very hard to select. At this time, I'm going to introduce Dr. Creighton, who will present medals and certificates and cash awards at the conclusion, or whatever needs to be presented, of reading your essays, and then we will have you get up, read your essay, and she will then present to you. Okay? Any questions? First place, Emma Schuckman. Essay is on Apollo mission suit. Correct? Very good.
Do you want to read first, or do you want to? Let's have an award first. This is always fun.
Yeah, step this way a little bit.
And then we're supposed to, we want pictures this way.
There you go.
Okay. That girl.
Do this. Get used to this, because when you get bigger, you get all little.
Thank you.
Okay, now you can read this. You should be right there. Yes.
Oh, we need to raise the microphone. All you have to do is just push it to your level. When I'm up there, believe me, it has to be as low as it'll go.
Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered, I wonder what it's like to be up in outer space? Well, 3 men from Lawrence County got to experience that dream. The Lawrence County History Museum includes an exhibit to honor the memory of these brave astronauts. One of the newest additions to this exhibit is a white Apollo mission suit. In this paper, I will research the purpose of spacesuits and the purpose of this one. Humans as a whole have been interested in space exploration for decades. In 1961, Yuri Gagarin was the first human to fly to space. He was also the first human to orbit the Earth. This means spacesuits have been used for over 60 years. Spacesuits are most commonly made of nylon. This is a good material because it has water-resistant properties, and nylon is also airtight. A spacesuit's main purpose is to protect the wearer from the harsh conditions of space. The average temperature in space is extremely cold, sitting at 2.6 Kelvin or negative 454.8 degrees Fahrenheit. Spacesuits are made to help withstand these conditions. There are many details that go into creating a spacesuit. The first thing to consider is the type of suit. Spacesuits are in 3 categories: IVA, EVA, and IVEA. IVA suits are meant to be worn inside of the aircraft. EVA suits are used for work and missions outside of the pressurized aircraft. IVEA suits are able to be worn both inside and out of the craft. The suit at the museum is an IVA suit. The average spacesuit is about 3/16 of an inch thick with 11 layers of material. They are designed and manufactured this way because they are built to withstand the heavy pressure in space. Each spacesuit is made for a specific person and costs millions of dollars to make. In summary, spacesuits have been used for many years, made to protect the wearer and will aid space exploration for years to come.
The essays were excellent. I think I mentioned that earlier, but I was very impressed with all of them. The next person, second place, Raiden Tincher.
Turn right here and make it. Good.
The mastodon tooth at the Lawrence County Museum stood out to me because I have always wanted to be a paleontologist. I think that it is fascinating how you can tell what an animal ate based on the structure of their teeth. This specific mastodon jaw was found by Chris Amstutz in 1998 in the White River. The teeth are all numbered by their cheek tooth number and by the number of ridges on the teeth. Mastodon teeth can be as small as a quarter or as big as a computer. One tooth from the jaw is as big as my hand. He found the tooth while he was diving for mussels with Randy Cornett. The mastodon tooth was kept at a bait shop, and it brought more attention to the shop from people as far as China. The jaw was eventually stolen from the bait shop. They do not know who stole it or if they will ever get it back. Another interesting thing I have learned about mastodons is that they became a state fossil because they have been found in almost every county in Indiana, making them a key part of Indiana history. I think finding a mastodon would be really exciting, especially if you find one in your backyard or somewhere that you have spent a lot of time. Mastodons were herbivores, which means that they didn't eat meat and only ate plants. There are actually multiple types of herbivores, but mastodons is a browser. A browser is an animal that's diet consists of any woody materials. Mastodons would have eaten sticks and bark and other wood. Mastodon teeth have distinctive transverse ridges of enamel which help them to eat bark and other woods without harming their teeth. The mastodon roamed the earth 2.5 million to 10,500 years ago. The mastodon will be remembered as an incredible discovery in Lawrence County and in America.
The third place was Emma Clagy.
When visiting the Lawrence County Museum of History, the model of the 1870 Lawrence County Courthouse piqued my interest in the history of the Lawrence County Courthouse. This made me ask 3 questions. How many courthouses have there been? Where have they been located? What makes them special? According to Judge Nykirk, the circuit court judge in Lawrence County, there have been 5 courthouses. The first was considered a hall of justice in 1818. They used it for county business in 1821. The first true courthouse was built in 1834. The third courthouse was built. The model at the museum, donated by L.M. Mundy, was the 4th courthouse, which was completed in 1872. The 5th and the one that stands today was built in 1930. The county seat was originally in Palestine in 1818. Many people in that area were becoming sick. It seems that miasm and malignant fever ravaged the community enough that they petitioned the state in 1825 to move the county seat to Bedford. A limestone courthouse was built near the railroad in Bedford in 1834. There was some disagreement about where the 1870 courthouse should be located, as the building was so needed that
none could disagree upon that. An argument arose regarding the site. Some felt that the nearness to the bustle of city life distracted from the uselessness of the building. Although other locations were discussed and the courthouse was built on the square. Limestone is what makes Bedford and the courthouse special. During the Great Depression, limestone kept Bedford financially stable. The limestone from a quarry in Bedford has also been used for famous buildings such as the Empire State Building and the Pentagon. The small model of the 1870 courthouse represents a big history of Bedford. I learned about why the county seat is now in Bedford. I learned about the different courthouses built. And last but not least, I learned about the importance of limestone in our community's history.
The next three students that we will have reading their essays are honorable mentions, and believe me, they're all good. First, Izzy Bush. Raise your mic up a little bit. There you go.
Perfect. I want to hear you.
During our visit to the museum, the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame inductees caught my eye. So I walked over to them and read them, and the most interesting one was Danny Bush. Mr. Bush was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2000. In Murphy Wheeler's paper, published on 1st of May 2020, Danny Bush was coaching at female from 1981 to 1993. Not only was Mr. Bush a coach, but he was also a player himself. During my in-person interview, Danny told me that his father is the one who started him on basketball. Mr. Bush told me he played biddy ball, junior high, and high school basketball at Olympia, where he was a 3-year starter. He received a full scholarship from Indiana State University to play ball. He scored over 1,000 points at ISU his senior year and 1,462 career points. He was the second leading all-time scorer. Visiting the museum, I read that at the end of his senior year, he was named ISU's most valuable player. He was also part of 2 sectional winning teams and was selected for the Academic All-American. I also interviewed Danny's wife, Carol. She told me that while Danny was coaching at B&L, he taught health, social studies, PE, and mostly driver's education. I asked Danny what he did with his team to make them so good. He said that he would make them work really, really hard. In 2020, one of Bush's granddaughters, Chloe McKnight, was a junior all-star and played for B&L, and he never missed a game. Now Chloe is a senior at the University of St. Francis, and he still never misses a game. Danny Bush was a great basketball player and coach, and there is probably much more to learn about him, which is why this Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame inductee Danny Bush was so interesting.
Patty's here tonight.
Our next reader is Autumn Hill. This was very interesting to me.
Oh, sorry. There you go. Those are all sections. Now. Okay. Okay. I'll tell you, take it, it's yours. There you go. Did I get it right? Oh, yes, you did. Just want to make certain.
When I visited the Lawrence
You might want to raise your mic up just a little bit. There you go.
When I visited the Lawrence County Museum, I saw these beautiful Wizard of Oz Turner dolls. I was curious about the history behind the dolls. I was also interested in Virginia Turner and how she got into making the dolls so close to them. Turner dolls have gained quite a lot of popularity, especially for collectors. In 1981, Judy Turner needed help filling doll orders. She turned to her brother Boyce and sister-in-law Virginia for help. In 1986, the Turners inherited their grandparents' 40-acre farm. A few years later, Judy went on to open her own doll business, and Virginia was busy with her own creations. In 1989, Virginia sculpted her first original porcelain doll, Jeannie. At its peak, Turner dolls shipped up to 6,000 dolls a year. Virginia Turner never liked dolls as a kid. The only doll I remember getting her composition was craft. Her parents were artists, so she always had a love for art. Virginia was born in 1936, and World War II took place during her childhood. She had 4 brothers to look after, so she had her hands full. Virginia Turner is an inspiration to me. While the public is viewing her dolls, Virginia listens to their opinions. She also appreciated her employees. Virginia said, "My success was my employees, and I never thought of them as employees. They were friends." I love how Virginia is so work. She listens to people and their feedback. I think she's an extraordinary doll designer, sculptor, and person.
Cassie, the last one didn't come.
Oh, the last one's not here.
Yes.
Okay, well, I want to say, I, as a teacher, was very impressed with your articles that you have written. You did an excellent job, all of you.
Did you want to read
I'd
it?
like to know where these kids, what grade they're in, where they go to school.
That's fine. You want to stand up and tell us what grade you're in, what grade you went to school? So you'll have to really speak up, or you'll have to all come up here.
And where are they in school? Say it out loud, 1, 2, 3.
So you're all from St. Vincent's?
Yes.
That's wonderful. I hope your school realizes, do they, that you're all here tonight?
Teachers.
Oh, teachers back there, very good, excellent, excellent. But they were really, really interesting and well-written, and I was impressed.
Social studies and ELA combined.
So, okay, very good. And I'll tell you what, I'm not easy to impress, so it was very good. Thank you again. The other young lady that was not here was Vivian Parker.
We've got 2 other ones, Cassie, that we didn't say. Annie Bush's granddaughter, where'd she go?
What is she saying?
Nothing. I went to look around her. She didn't. You always say
I have never even read it, so I can go ahead. Well, I can if you think.
I was raised on a farm in Indiana. We didn't read all the time, but we worked a lot. Not my strong suit. Vivian Parker wrote on Gus Grissom. We all know a lot about him, so even if I struggle through, you'll probably have a takeaway that's good. I chose to write about Gus Grissom because of his amazing achievements in the space program. Also, my great-grandmother was a classmate with Gus at Mitchell High School. Without his sacrifice, the Apollo program would have never made it to the moon. Gus Grissom is an American hero from Lawrence County. On April the 3rd, 1926, Virgil I. Gus Grissom was born in Mitchell, Indiana. He went to high school in Mitchell, where he met his wife, Betty Moore. Gus enlisted into the Air Force and fought in World War II. After World War II, he enrolled at Purdue University, earned his bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering, and after college, he went to Korea and flew fighter planes. Gus was hired by NASA and became one of the first 7 astronauts. He was part of the Mercury, Gemini, and Apollo space missions. His first mission was Project Mercury. After the capsule, the Liberty Bell 7, returned to Earth, it landed in the Atlantic Ocean. The hatch mysteriously blew open, causing water to fill into the capsule. Gus exited, still connected to the vessel. He was disconnected, and the water entered his suit. He sank. He regretted the decision to bring along personal items to give out as gifts. He said, "I brought 2 rolls of 50 dimes for the children of friends, $3 bills, some models of the capsule, and a set of pilot wings." These were all adding weight to his suit that he could have done without. The Liberty Bell 7 sank to the bottom of the ocean. Gus's last mission was Apollo 1. The Apollo had difficulties delaying the launch from Cape Canaveral. Gus and Betty had a lemon tree in their backyard, and Gus went out and picked the largest lemon on the tree and told Betty, "I'm going to hang this in the spacecraft." He kissed her goodbye and headed to the Cape. 5 days later, while performing plug-ins and out test, a fire ignited. There was no time or no way to escape. Gus and 2 other astronauts perished. He died January the 27th, 1967. And that's it. Okay, I guess I didn't have to tell you about the, I guess I read it at 7th grade level. That was so thank you very much. Rowena, I think you're going to say a few words in closing.
Yes. First of all, again, congratulations. And I echo, Cassie said that she was not easy to please or something.
I'm not.
Neither am I. But Marla, how many entries did we have total?
We had over 20.
It was a lot. Yeah, just so you know that these were the best, but we had some, I mean, these were the best by, yes, but we had many fine entries, enough that we have hope for the future. And that's a wonderful thing, especially these days. On the back of your certificates, all of you, whether you were one of the top 6 or not, are being invited to get a year's free membership in the Lawrence County Historical and Genealogical Society. So if you fill that out and send it back, or fill it out tonight and hand it to one of us, you get 4 issues of our famous newsletter, The Seeking Patch. Any of you ever seen The Seeking Patch? It is a wonderful thing. You just never know what kind of Lawrence County history is going to be in there, but I guarantee you there will be something, even those of us who've been doing history for a long time, there will be something or somebody you've never heard of, and you'll be like, really? You know, it's amazing. It's amazing. Bedford is getting ready to celebrate its 200th birthday as the county seat of this county, and 200 years is a really long time, and lots of things happen. So I really appreciate the students who are here and the ones who are not here who submitted essays, who went into that gallery and found something that talked to them about our history. And one more time, thank you. Thank you to the Mitchell family for being here, and all you parents and grandparents and everybody who came out, teachers who came out to support this effort. I'm not going to talk any longer because it's time to go, but thank you all for being here, and please come have cookies. Yeah.